When do you want it from? When me and Gran got together?
Oh, as far back as you know.
Or
As far back as the hit.
Oh, if I went as far back as I could remember, to take you a good while.
That's
But
okay.
I'll go back as far as when I met Grandad. Or towards that part, shall I?
Yes.
Or when I left school. And I was crippled in my arm.
Okay.
And at that time, I'd got 5 brothers and 3 sisters. There was 9 of us in the family. And I was the youngest of 9. I was the youngest of 9. And of course, when I was growing up, Johnny, in them my days, going back, because I'm 87 now, when you, if you got anything the matter with you and you hadn't got a good family, that gets you aside.
Right.
If you hadn't got all your limbs, but you got to be with a good, you got to have good parents and that for them to look after you. Well, I was the youngest of 9. And of course I was well looked after and I thought the world of me. Uncle Frank, as you know, always did do. And when I come to the age of 14 and I thought I'd never work because they didn't employ people then if they was disabled in any way. And I know what I'm going to do, Johnny, before I do anything else.
Okay.
I'd never get a job.
You should sit here.
I thought I'd never be able to work with my arm. Any rate, I went and got myself a job in a factory at Warsaw, and they made gloves. Well, when of course I didn't tell them about my arm till I started the job. When they found out I was a cripple in my arm, the boss had me in his office. And the boss lived straightly. There was 2 brothers what owned the factory in Warsaw. And he had me in the office and he says, "You didn't tell me you got cripple arm when you come for the job." I says, "No, because I didn't think you'd give me one." He says, "Well, I'm afraid you can't do the jobs as we're offering you, So he says, "What we're going to do, we're going to put you on as errand girl.
Yes.
We're going to give you a job as errand girl. Because we think you deserve it." He said, "You can run the errands and you'll be all round Warsaw every day." And I used to get 7 and 6 a week.
£7.06.
Now, 7 and 6 in pence. It was 37 and a half pence as it is today.
And did you have to ride your bicycle
Uh,
to do the errands?
yes, I used to go to work on my bike. Because Bill learnt me to ride a bike.
So you knew Bill?
No, I didn't know Bill then. I used to have to go on the bus, that's right. Because I didn't know Bill then. I was 14 years of age.
When was that? So you're 87 now?
I'm 87 now.
So
I'm going
that
back
was 73
71 years.
Se-
76
73
years.
If you're 87 now and you were 14 there, it was 73 years ago.
It is 73 years ago.
So that would have been 1932.
Yeah. Now, Johnny. My mother died in... That's right. My mother was alive, that's right. My mother died in 1934. And I was on that job. They kept me on it as long as they could, running errands for that. Because the money was no good then. It wasn't big money. And the boss had me in the office and he says, "Rose," he said, "I don't think we can keep you running errands all the days of your life." He said, "We just have to find you a little job in this factory as we can do. Because we think you deserve it." Anyway.
This was right before World War II? Was this
Oh, yes.
right before the war?
Yes, well before the war. I was married when the war started. I'd been married, how long had I been married when the war started? I got married in 37 And the war started in 1940, didn't it?
That's right. I remember you had your 50th anniversary in the Silver Jubilee year.
In 1930, we got married in 37. That's right.
No. It was 87 you had your 50.
That's right, it was 87, wasn't
Yeah, I
it?
remember that party.
Yeah. And they put me on a job, and they used to, you know, when you wear a pair of gloves, they've got the what-is-its down here, haven't they? They've usually got a
Seams?
a seat, like a little seat.
Mhm.
Well, on the end of them what-is-its, there used to be little handles as they come off the machine, like when you was on, if you was on a sewing machine
Yes.
and you cut the cotton, you'd leave a piece handling like that. Well, they put me on a job, and I'd got to tie these knots and cut them off. And they said they didn't know whether I'd do it, but they'd give me a trial. Anyway, they showed me how to do this job. And of course I wasn't, after I'd been on it a bit, I was better than I was better than someone, and what was on it all, I'd been on it years, and it was piecework. And if you didn't work, you didn't get no money.
Oh, they were.
Piecework is you're paid by the amount of work you're doing.
But you know, and you didn't get any money. If you didn't do any work,
Mhm.
you didn't get no money. And of course I was doing that. How old was I when I come up that? Wait a minute. Till I was 18, I think. 18 and a half. And they'd run short of work. And they got no work. Of course we weren't earning any money. And we was a very poor family. We couldn't afford not to take any money in, you know.
So tell us about your mum and dad.
What about them?
Well, just I don't know very much about your mum and dad.
My mum and dad, my mum was always ill with asthma and bronchitis.
Where did she come from?
Now, I think the family come from Showfield, Stubbers Greenway and that.
Uh-huh.
But my dad, I think he come from Litchfield, now where Nancy lives.
Uh-huh. And what was
but
her,
I don't know nothing much about my father's family.
what was your mother's maiden name?
Fanny,
Fanny?
yeah,
What was her first name?
Fanny Dennant.
Fanny Dennant. Oh, of course, the Dennants. Yes.
Because I was, what was I going to say, Johnny? That was my single name, was Dennant.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew much about my father's family, because my dad was in the army. He was in the army, I can't remember a lot about my dad when I was young. Because he was away in the army. He went to Turkey, he went to Russia, he went everywhere all over the world. And he was in the army till he was 56.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be,
Would you know what he did, what his position was in the army?
oh yes, he went to, I got some photos somewhere.
You know, I've seen a picture of him upstairs.
Upstairs with his hat on.
Yeah.
With his, I think he was in some guards or something, Johnny. I can't remember rightly. Because you don't remember that far back, can you?
Mm.
And then
Where did you grow up, Granny? Where did you grow up?
Shellfield, where Frank lives.
Okay.
Where Frank lives, I grew up just within 2 or 3 minutes from where he lives now. But it wasn't built up then, it was all fields.
Yeah.
We lived in an old house up there. And then when I was about 17 or 18, we moved into a council house. Not far from where Frank's living now.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
it's Shellfield.
So when you were 18 and you finished with your job, working on the gloves, then what did you do?
At the factory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went out one dinner time and I went up to a factory in Eldon Street, Warsaw, and it was another glove factory. And they'd got plenty of work at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me what I'd been doing. So he's been working at Powers. Well, it was the one factory in Walsall, Powers. It's got a good name. And everything. And they said, how long you been there and all this, that and other. What we're doing, and I told them. And they said, well, I'm afraid we haven't got any of that type of work. We'll offer you a job doing the linings, putting the linings in the gloves, you like. And I said, all right, and what you've got to do is put the linings in and then stitch them to the ends of the gloves, inside out like, and that.
Right.
And I thought, oh, I shall do this. Because I'd got away with me, as I could always rest, as long as I could rest my arm, I could use my fingers.
Oh, so you weren't exactly just using
Yeah,
one hand.
you said from here
Right.
to here, from the elbow to the fingernail. I could always use that part of the arm. But from here to here, I've never had no shoulder or no muscle. And of course I put on this job and I sailed through it. And I was there, how old was I? Till 1934, I think it was. And Bill said, I was with Bill then. And he says to me, he says, Rose, he says, I'm sure you could get a job where you get more money than what you're getting now, because the money wasn't much. He says, why don't you come over to our place? He says, and try and get a job where I worked. Well, you've heard of the ICI, haven't you? It's
I've
a
heard
good
of it.
big major company,
Big
that is.
chemical company.
Big chemical company. They've got places in America and different places, haven't they?
Yeah.
All over the world. And it used to be a big place down Wittenberg. And he said, I think if you come over there with me and try for a job, you'd get one. I says, oh, all right. So I went over with him one morning. I had to go early to be there, you know, as he should show me the way and everything. You know, and I did go over there on my bike then, because there was hardly any buses or anything. And of course I had to see, you had to pass the doctor to get into that factory. You know, you couldn't just get the job and walk in. You'd got to pass the doctor to see if you were fit. And you'd got to strip to your vest and your knickers for him to pass you. And of course, I don't tell him I was crippled in my arm, did I? Or anything. And I got the job. Got a job there. And I'd been there 3 weeks. And I was a viewer, see. Viewing, examining, like, see the work was all right. Examiners, I don't know what they call them in your place.
Inspector?
Inspectors over the, you know,
Quality control.
quality control, that's right. Well, I'm quality control, you know. I used to do the work on that. I'd been there 3 weeks and the poor woman come to me. And one day I says, Rose, I says, did you tell the doctor about your arm when you first started here? When you come for the job? And I says, no, what? I says, only we wondered. I said, didn't I know more? We wondered, I says, because you're a very good viewer. You know. I said, you're a very good viewer, I says. It's marvellous. I says, but this job, it was for heavy Johnny. You'd got to pink. You'd be ammunition stuff it was. You've got to pick it up.
It was ammunitions that you were inspecting?
The cups to them. Not in the ammunition part.
But the casing?
The casings for them. It's when they first started from the first operation. And there was only like a cup. Bit bigger than that. But that's very heavy and thick. You know, because they've got to be drawed and drawed and drawed on to different operations.
Wait, what were you making here? Ammunitions?
I wasn't doing them, no.
But-
I wasn't in the ammunition part, no.
Oh.
And I says, well, I said, you know, I said, the boss, the wants to see you in the office. And he says, Rose, he says, I'm sorry, he says, but we've got to send you up to see the doctor. Because the job you're doing, you're very, very good at. The only thing, you'll never earn any money, because it's space work.
Oh, it's piecework again. Yeah.
And he says you'd never do enough or quick enough to earn a wage. That's what I call a good wage. He says, so we've had a word with the doctor and we're going to send you up to see him now. And the doctor sends, they send me up to see the doctor, and I went into it, what it is, and he said, Rose Dennons, and I says, yes. He says, hey, the bloody hell did you pass me? I says, what do you mean? He says, how the bloody hell did you pass me? I said, I don't know what you mean. He said, why didn't you tell me as you was a cripple in your arm? I says, well, you was inspecting me, you was passing me. It was up to you to find out.
You're a bit sassy back there.
You were a better viewer than the doctor.
He was taken aback with the answer. I says, it was up to you to find out. He says, good girl. He said, oh, come on, I'm going to have a sit down and talk to you now. He says, before I do anything about it. He asked me about different things like I've been telling you. And he said, when he finished that, he says, I'm going to find you a job in this factory if it's the last thing I ever do.
Alright, do you think I won or Cameron or Colin?
And
Hold on a second.
he says, go back there, he says, and I'll be in touch. Well, later in the day, they come to me and I have to go to where they call the lightning fastener, where they make the zip fasteners. You know the zip fasteners?
The zip fasteners, yes.
Yes, because they first started in this country, didn't they? The zip
Oh,
fasteners.
so was the zipper just invented?
I think that was invented in this country.
Uh-huh.
Used to be, well, where I work more or less. There was a lot, don't know whether it was invented there or where actually, but we were the first people in this country to make them.
Oh, so
And
you
then-
made them for everything? For clothes, for
For
bags?
clothes, for bags and everything.
Metal zippers.
Hmm?
Metal zippers.
Yes, the metal ones them days. It wasn't the plastics. You don't get the metal ones today, do you?
You do, but not often.
Nothing. And they take me to this, what is it? What is it? And they said they'd give me a trial in there, like, to see how I went. When I used to be on a machine, it'd be about as long as that, what's it called? What's it you got there? No, as you're doing this tape on.
The video camera?
A video camera. About bigger than that, but wider. And you got a foot pedal to it. And you used to have to put them under and get the length. I used to have to get the length, exact length of the zip fastener. You know. And of course I got the old dodge again. Rest my arm on there. But we used to have to inspect them as we done them on the machine. And it was all piecework. And they used to call, you know, the little things as you catch on to what is it? The teeth. The teeth and the teeth on the, but that's what you used to cut off. Was the teeth. There was too many teeth for the length. We used to have to cut them off. We used to have to cut them off. And we were space work. And of course I could have got a damn good job there. And
What did it
mind
pay?
you, I was earning good money in there.
Do you remember what it paid?
Hmm?
Do you remember what it paid?
Yeah, I did.
How much? What did you earn per week?
Well, I used to have to work. At that time, we was very busy. We was very, very busy. And the hours was 40 hours a week. 44-hour week. We had to work. And you worked from 8 till 6 at night. Till 8 till 12 on a Saturday. But we were that busy. We used to have to work till 4 o'clock on a Saturday. That was overtime. And I was working in there, and I was piecework, and I was earning
Mommy, thank you for the cars.
£5 a week, and that was
Good money.
was absolutely fascinating money. And of course, Bill knew what good money I was earning, and I was earning twice as much as he was, more. And my brother Frank worked there, and he earned the same money as Bill. Their wages was £2 and half a crown a week. And one night we was down now, it was before we was married, and they was talking about the money, the wages, and Bill says to Frank, he says, "Oh, Frank, I don't know what you're saying we got good money for." He says, "Do you know how much Rose is earning?" And he says, "No." He says, "It's picking up me twice as much as me and you."
Not twice as much, the same as you, as those two together.
Double the same.
Yeah, as those two together.
Yeah. Now, he says, the two together, and a bit more I was.
Is that because you worked faster, or?
So it was the money I was earning. £5 a week. And your granddad and Uncle Frank was only getting £2 and half a crown.
Yeah.
And he says, "How much you picked up this week then?" For me. And I says, "I don't know whether it was £5 and a few shillings more." I told him. No, you haven't.
Were you doing the same work? Were you all doing the same?
No, still in different departments.
Uh-huh.
Bill and my brother was in a department next door to one another. They was more on the ammunition side. Well, on the sporting side. Ely cartridges, you've heard of them, haven't you? Well, Bill and my brother worked in those. This was before the war, see. And
Is that where you met Bill? Did you meet Bill?
I met Bill when I was 15.
Oh yes, that's right.
I started going out with Bill when I was 15.
And you married him when you were 18?
I was with him till I went out from Bill from when I was 15 years of age till I got married, and I was 23 in the April as I got married in the July. I was 48 years.
Why so long? Isn't that unusual?
Eh?
Why was it so long?
Why was it so long?
Yeah.
Because you weren't allowed to get married too early, Johnny.
Really?
If you'd have mentioned marriage to my parents when we was young, you'd be in trouble.
What was that? Because you needed to bring in money.
Yeah. When I was earning that money, £5 a week, I was standing every halfpenny up to my mother.
Yeah. So you had 9 brothers and sisters?
There was 9 of us,
Uh-huh.
5 brothers, 3 sisters.
What were all their names? Because I don't know all of them. I know Frank.
Eva's dad was my brother Bill.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Eva's dad, Eva's father, you know Eva.
Yes.
Her father was my brother Bill.
Uh-huh.
He was the eldest.
Uh-huh.
Then I had my sister Alice, what was dead and dumb.
Right.
And then I had my brother Harold. That's right.
What happened to Harold?
Who?
I don't know Harold. Why don't I?
No, I could tell you the story. I might tell you the story of that later on. Harold. And then there was my sister Jenny, as we called her. No, there wasn't. It was I said Alice, didn't I?
No.
Yes, you did. You said Alice.
Ah. There was
The
Ginny.
deaf and dumb one.
Oh, deaf and dumb.
So there's Ginny.
Yeah. And then there's Obadiah.
Obadiah.
It's a Bible name.
Yeah.
And we used to call him Obi.
Obi.
And then there was
You can use mine.
Almy.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was Frank and me. That's right, isn't it? I ain't forgot one of them.
Oh boy, we'd have to go through them again. So there was the oldest was Eva's.
Bill. Harold.
Sorry, who was Bill? You said Harold was the.
Wait a bit. Bill was my oldest brother.
That's Eva's.
Dad. Eva's dad.
Okay.
Then there was Alice.
Alice, yes.
Yes.
Harold.
Then Harold.
Ginny.
Ginny.
Alice.
We said.
Ginny. Almy.
Oh my, that's 5.
Frank.
6.
7.
Then there's you.
Obadiah.
Obadiah. 8.
Obadiah.
8. So there was 8 of you in total.
And me.
9.
There was 9 with me.
Somebody please can tie it.
Okay, turn it off, would you guys? Oh, this is. There's so many of your brothers and sisters I don't know about.
Oh well, Bill died in 1948.
Eh,
Eva's dad. He died of cancer.
So how old was he when he died?
Hmm?
How old was he when he died?
He was in his 50s.
50s.
In his early 50s.
What kind of cancer?
All my family, barring Alice, died in the 50s. All died more or less younger. Barring Alice.
For different
and
reasons?
Alice was 68.
And oh my.
Oh my.
And Frank.
Now I'm
Okay.
coming the earliest on them, the older one. But Alma was 83
Mm-hmm.
when she died. Frank's still alive. You know Frank.
Mhm.
Yes.
He's still in that town.
Yes.
At what is it? And he's got very old, very confused now.
Yeah.
And who died first? Harold died first. Not Frank. Bill died first. Then Harold.
What kind of cancer was it that got Bill?
It was lung cancer.
Was he a smoker?
No.
No.
He, from the time he was in the December, he was about 18 stone,
Oh, he was big.
and he died in March.
18 times 12, and I'll give you the pounds.
And he died in March of the next year, and he only weighed about 4 stone.
Oh my. I mean, there's 16 pounds in a stone?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, 16
Oh, he
pounds.
went down to nothing. But of course, there's things going in the family, Johnny.
Yeah.
There was a big break-up in the family. My mother died when I was 34. That was all right. The family still kept together then. But when my dad died in 1940, he died in the March of 1940, before the war started. And of course, there was
What did he
there was
die-
Frank at home.
What did he die of? Your
My
dad?
old age,
How old was
because my dad was 82 when he died.
Mhm.
My mother was 61. My dad was 15 years older than my mum,
he? Oh, wow.
and they was first cousins.
Oh, really?
And
How,
they was first cousins.
how did your mother die?
With
the
Right.
asthma,
I think I died of pneumonia at the finish.
the pneumonia. Oh,
At the finish, but she used to have asthma and bronchitis. Very, very bad. I was always ill. My mother was. Always. I could never remember my mother being a real healthy woman. Because I was 41 when I was born. I was 20 when my mother died, and my mother died when I was 61. There. My dad was like, I could never remember my dad as a young man. To me, my dad was always an old man. You know, and he'd never got no time for me. My dad was the worst one. Never got much time for me. You know, he was all right, don't get me wrong. He was all right, but Almai was his favourite. I was the apple of his eye. At that time. But of course I was favourite with all my brothers. My brothers idolised me. They did do right up till when you know
Carl's
Frank.
balloon popped. Carl's balloon popped because he put. Okay, this is Cameron since he wants his to have a little wiggly thing on the.
20 till my mother died. I turned every penny up into the house. I never had no pocket money. I used to give my mother all my money.
were you close to your mother?
Because my dad was on old age pension. Because he was that much older than my mother. You see, and the old age pension in them days was 10 shillings. 50 pence today.
So were you supporting the family practically?
And now there was Frank was at home. Frank was at home and Alma was at home at that time. There was 3 of us at home. But Alma works at a factory in Warsaw. But I used to, of course, I don't know how much I ever earned, but the most she ever turned into the house was £1. And I only used to give my mother £1 a week.
So
And
sorry to keep going back, Randy, but was there any children that were born that didn't live?
yes, there was one before me, named Tish. And they died. She was very, very disabled, very deformed. And she died.
How old
And-
was she when she died?
She wasn't very old.
Yeah.
I can't really tell you, but she wasn't very old. But I think my mother had 10 children altogether. She was 17 when she married. When she married my dad. Well, I never knew this, so I got my dad to leave it all on my birth certificate. I had different birth certificates. I learned a lot then. They was dead against me and Bill getting engaged or married. And they didn't trust us. If I used to go and if me and Bill had to go and sit in our front room like my dad or my mother had followed us. It's right, Johnny. You've got to be in the house at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night.
Were your parents religious?
My dad was. He wasn't until later in life. I think it was till he was about in his later 60s or just 70s. And yeah, we used to have a great big garden. And the lads and my dad used to dig the garden, and we lived off of produce. You see, of the garden. They used to camp the potatoes for the winter and do everything like that. We got cabbages to last us all round. Frank's got my garden. He puts me in the mind of my dad.
Yes.
Because he got all flowers in his garden and he could cut them. And he used to sell cut flowers. We used to have a big rhubarb patch from here to the greenhouse and about as wide.
Did they own their own house?
Hmm?
They owned it?
No, it was only an old cottage sort of thing, double fronted house.
Uh-huh.
I
And
think,
it was rented?
yeah, it was rented. It wasn't much rent though. And because me dad, things weren't that's in them days.
Yeah. So your dad didn't make decent money in the army?
Oh, well, the money was nothing in them days.
Yeah.
I can remember when the money was nothing in the army, so I don't know what my dad got. You know.
So he joined
I
the church.
think
Did he
come
join the
out with
Church
a
of
little
England?
I think my dad come out with a little pension, but it was nothing to.
Yeah.
It wouldn't keep you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So what was your mother's maiden name? You know, your father's name was Dennant.
yes, my mother's name was James.
James. And do you know much about her family?
Yes, I know her brothers, and I know one sister.
Uh-huh.
There was my Aunt Maud, that was Nancy's mother. Then there used to be my Uncle Bert, my Uncle Harold, my Uncle Gemma. Oh, who was the other one?
But you don't remember your mum's mum or and
Oh,
dad? No, you were too old at that
Well, I was
point.
41 when I was born.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't remember
Uh-huh.
anything like that. And we used to have an old aunt. My mother's sister used to live with us, name Rowers, I was name Rowers. And she lived with us because I looked after the house for us, because my mother was always an invalid, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go out to work, he just
Mm-hmm.
looks after the house for us, because my mother couldn't do much. And
And your dad's family?
I don't know anything of my dad's family at all.
Nothing at all.
The only one I could ever remember, Johnny, of my dad's family, they lived over at Ince, near Tamworth. That's where Nancy lives now. Close to there, like, you know. And
Your daddy.
they took.
It's about long enough since I left.
I can remember always taking me out. I was always remember them taking me over to see it one day. You know, at Ince, Tamworth.
Why do you always have to?
And my Uncle Bert, my mother's brother, I can't tell you what. I can always remember going over there and taking me over there to see him. And my Uncle Bert and his friend of his, when they come to our house, to my mum's like, they used to get me trying to make me swear.
Uh-huh.
You see. And they'd give me sixpence if I swore.
That's exactly what they did to me on the farm when I was a kid.
Yeah. If I swore, I got a sixpence.
So you really learned to swear a lot, right?
They taught me how to swear.
Sixpence, that's a lot of money.
And in them days, it was a lot of money in them days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they used to give me a sixpence. When I went over to this auntie's with them, and there was very, very strict caution. You know. And they shouted at me for doing something. I said, "Oh, you bugger." You know what I done?
She gave you sixpence.
Hey, bloody date. They shut me in the cow house in the dark. And they left me there 5 hours.
There's a coal house that used to keep coal in and
The
outside.
cow used to
Shed.
be in there.
And
The fires. They shut me in there and locked me in for 5 hours.
Did it stop you from swearing?
Nah. when I come to fetch me out and I was ready to go home, like, you know. My Auntie Rose, I can remember it. And I said to her, I think her name was Elizabeth, I ain't sure. Would you say to her? I said, no, I ain't saying that to her, to her, bugger her. I'm going. She ain't coming. And I just looked at her straight in the face. I'll never come here again. No, never did.
You were a bit feisty when you were young, weren't you?
Hmm?
You were testy when you were young. Yeah.
Because the lads made me like it, Johnny.
Yeah, I know.
Uncle Frank and Hobie and them. They, you know, I was never backward in coming forward, although I was crippled. You know, I'd take my own part and that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So what about Bill's family?
Bill's family. Bill, his mother and dad, he was born before his mother and dad was married.
Uh-huh.
Well, what they used to call, I don't know whether you heard it saying, the wrong side of the blanket. Have you heard that saying?
I've heard the wrong side of the tracks.
That one side of the blanket over there.
Okay.
And Bill was born, and his mother and dad wasn't married. And in them days, it was a sin. You know. Well, of course, his dad at that time didn't want to know.
So he didn't intend to marry Bill's mother.
Hmm?
So Bill's dad didn't intend.
I don't know. I can't get, you know, never get to the bottom of it, of that. But his granny reared him, and he was brought up in the Chater's name. You know, he took his mother's maiden name, Chater.
Oh, so is it not true that Hardy?
Hmm?
I just heard from Johnny's sister Lynn that the Chater's name used to be Hardy, and
Wait a bit. I'll go that far. You heard it off his dad and mother?
I heard it off
Yeah,
of
I heard
Lynn.
it from my dad.
Yeah. His dad was named Hardy. Wilf Hardy, his name was. And he was
That's the actual dad? The real?
that was his real father.
Uh-huh.
Because after then, like Bill was granny dear, and he was always brought up with his granny. His father and mother never wanted him until he was 14 and was able to leave school to go to work. Then they wanted to take him over. And they took him from his granny's to...
So they were still together then?
Hmm?
His mother and his father?
They was married by then. He got 2 more daughters. He got a daughter named Mary and a daughter named Sue.
So why, if they got married, did they want nothing to do with him until he was ready to work?
Johnny don't ask me because I wouldn't know.
Uh-huh.
But his father left him, he was always granny reared. And so, of course, when his dad wanted him, when he started work, as he was earning money, he wanted his money. So
Yeah.
what income he was going to bring in. He was a very hard man. Mind you, he was a very attractive man, very smart. He was a very, very nice man. I used to like him.
What did he do? What was his job?
He was a cabinet maker, made furniture.
He was a furniture maker. Uh-huh.
And when of course, he went to live with his father and mother at Sutton, and he was only there 6 weeks. And he walked right back from Sutton to his granny's
Where was his granny's?
in Aldridge, down Brickyard Road, where the factories are now. You know, where the pitch used to be.
Yeah.
He used to be there and there in a row of cottages. And he come back there to his granny's. And his dad come after him and wanted to go back to him. He said no, and he wouldn't go back to live with his father.
Did he ever tell you why?
No, he never said why. It wasn't his granny's, he wanted to be with his granny. His granny had always been looked after him and looked after him well on that. And his granny's children, his sons, two sons and one of her daughters always befriended him, always looked after him. They was like brothers to him at that time.
Who were his sisters? What were his sisters' names? Okay, I gotta go deal
He
with.
was courting when he was with us on, as you know.
How did you meet him? Where did you meet him?
Well, Grandad knew me before I knew him. He seen me once and he looked at the girl. He said he stood about 300 yards away from us. You know, with some friends, and he said, "You see that one there? That's the girl I'm going for." He says, "I shall have her."
Where was this?
When I was only 15.
Where did he see you?
Granddad was only about 16.
But he saw you at the factory? Or?
Now at Waterwood, where the Ocean Jockey is in Waterwood. As you're going up from Sheffield into Waterwood, you wouldn't know where it is. And but at one time, I don't suppose they do it in America. Well, they might do. They used to gang up at the weekends. You know, the couple. You know, the chaps would gang up and the girls would gang up, and they used to go up the same part of the town, and that's all. And we used to go up what they call Pelston Monkey Run. That's what we called it. We used to go up Pelston, you know, and the girls would be walking. All you'd do was walk up and down.
Yeah.
Then we met these fellas one night, and overrunning my story, a young woman what lived by Bill, worked with me. I didn't know at the time.
I wanted to steal.
I didn't know at the time. She
Don't let any out, please.
she lived because I didn't know Bill, see. But at any rate, I come in one day and they says, "I've got a message for you." And I says, "Oh, who?" Says, "You." And I says, "Who what?" I says, "A fellow what lives by me." He says, "He's give it me for you. He wants you to meet him." This is when he spotted me, see. And then I was able to tell him who I was. And I says, "He wants you to meet him, so and so and so and so." And I says, I'm not meeting him." I says, "You tell him. I don't go on blind dates. You know, I don't want to know." So, of course, never thought no more about it. Then we went up to Pelston on Sunday night and walking up and down, and there was these 3 or 4 fellas all together. We stopped talking to them, and of course, but we knew where we were. There was me and my friend. The one fella attached himself to her because he'd had his eye on her, and this other chap attached himself to me. And of course I didn't know his name or anything at all about him, like, you know. He says, "Can I see you home?" And I says, "Yes." I said, "But you ain't going to take me too far." I says, "Because my dad will be out after me." You know.
What did you think of him right at the beginning?
I didn't, wait a minute, I ain't telling you. Let me finish.
I'm not even.
Don't break me in. And he says, so of course he took me to the bottom of the lane, which is about 200 yards from the road, from me house, like. And I went home, and then he says, "Will you see me tomorrow?" Before I left him, he says, "Will you see me tomorrow night?" I says, "I don't know." He says, "You know, go on." He says, "Meet me tomorrow night." So I did. I went out with him, went walking with him, and he was talking to me. And he says, "Your name's Rose Tennant, ain't it?" I says, "Yes, that's right. How do you know?" "I haven't told you my name." He says, "No, but I know it." And I says, "What's your name?" He says, "My name's Bill Chater." I says, "Oh, you're the one that sent me the message then to meet you?" He says, "Yes." And he was the one that sent me the message to meet me. He says, I'd also seen you before then." He says, "Going up Green Lane, Sheffield." He says, "You got a brown coat on with a fur collar, and you got your Bible under your hand, or your hymn book." You was coming from chapel. I says, where did you? He says, I was in the road. He says, I was leaning up my bike. But, you know, he says, I spotted you there. Okay, of course, went on from there. I was going out with him and all that, like, you know.
Oh, but what did you think of him?
Not much. Not much to start off.
No? So the
It
reason...
didn't bother me.
In what way did? In what way didn't it bother you?
He was all right. He was all right.
Was he funny?
No, he wasn't funny, you know.
Was he
No.
too serious to start with?
Eh?
Was he too serious too soon?
No. He wasn't. What is it? We were good friends for quite a while. Went out very good friends for quite a while. In fact, he had been going out with a girl what didn't live very far from me. And he says, if ever I come across round then I'll pack her in, and he did.
When did you decide that you would marry him?
Oh. How old was I when I got...
23 you said.
No, I didn't get engaged till I was 21. I wasn't allowed to. We got engaged on my 21st birthday.
Did you want to start a family right away? Did you want to get married and start a family right away?
No.
But was
No.
21 the age at which you could do anything you wanted, or was 21 it just happened to be 21?
Johnny, in my day, your family, your mother and father had controlled you.
Mm-hmm.
You were, if you got my dad or mother, you wouldn't turn round and say you weren't going to do this, you weren't going to do that. You've got to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
And would they throw you
I had
out?
to go to chapel, to church as you would call it, to chapel, till I was 23. I went, I was at chapel on the Sunday night as I got married the following Saturday. Because I had to do as I was told.
So did you stop going to chapel when you didn't have to go anymore? Did you stop going?
I says, once I'm married, the only time I shall ever go to church or chapel is either weddings, births and marriages. And I've kept to it.
Funerals, you mean?
And funerals.
Why did you feel that way?
Because I was made to do it. I was forced into it.
So you never really believed in
And
it?
I believed in it. I believed in it, but I didn't believe in being forced to go. I didn't see why I should be forced to go. I resented it. Well, you would, wouldn't you? At that age.
You're talking to somebody who was forced
Well, you was forced.
till I was 25.
Oh my God. I thought I was hard done to. And I said I should never, you know, I said if I have any children, they'll never be made to go to Sunday school unless they want to.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
That's it. I'll never make them do what they don't want to do, and I never have. I've never believed in it. The only thing that ever broke me heart was when John went in the Air Force. And that did set me back. Because I couldn't make out why he wanted to go. It wasn't because he got a bad home, he got a good home and everything. But he says to me the reason he wanted to go was because he wanted to see the world. And that was his only way of doing it.
You could understand that.
I could understand that.
Yes.
Yeah. And when he wanted to go in, you see, I said to he was mixing about, John was, when he was Colin's age, with people, well, they weren't really undesirable, but me and Bill didn't think they was good company for him. Then put him over the road, like, you know. And I says to Bill, I says, if we don't let him go, we've got to sign for him. Got to get a magistrate to sign for him.
No,
There's a lot of
I
trouble
went like this.
to get him in,
Watch.
for him to sign, you know, to allow him to go. But I says, if we don't let him go, I says, we're going to have trouble on we hands. I says, because he'll go on the wrong way. I says, I'll sign for him to go. But Bill don't want to sign for him to go. He was dead against it. But John, up till a few years back, thought I wouldn't sign for him. He never knew it was his dad. Dad wouldn't sign for him. He blamed me for it, you know.
But you did sign.
I signed fair. Yes, we signed. Your dad,
So why did he blame you for anything if you did sign?
yes, he blamed me because your dad said he got the impression it was me what wouldn't sign first because we was having a lot of arguments over it.
Yeah.
It was causing a lot of rows.
And you felt that he was just too young?
Now I wanted to. I'd let him go.
No, I just wanted to know why you felt it
Your
was-
dad said he was too young to leave the family and all this. And of course, I could understand his dad's point of view, you know, in a way, because he hadn't lived with his family all his life. He never had no family,
Yes.
as you could say.
Yeah. So Granddad took it personally?
Your granddad, personally, he took it hard
Yeah.
in that way. You know, he thought really as John was rejecting his family,
Yeah.
and he wasn't.
Yeah.
I says, he's going in there and he'll make a man of him. I says, but if you don't let him go, I'm afraid you'll go. John's very willful and he'll go his own way. I said, you know me, it'll stop him.
Mm.
I said, he'll get in with the wrong company. I says, and we'll be in trouble.
You see, I would. What kind of jobs could my dad have done if he hadn't gone in the Air Force?
Oh, he went in to do 3 or 4 little jobs before he went in the Air Force, but he couldn't settle to him. He got his mind set on the Air Force because he'd been in the Air Force. He'd been in the cadets for years, and Tony was in the cadets, and Tony had got his mind on going as well. You see, Tony says, I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in with our John. Just as, I'm going to go in with our John, you know, until your dad turned him off it. And he says to me, Mum, our John says, Mum, our Tony had never be able to put up with the restrictions. You know what there's this, what are the things as I sent them out on?
Yeah, they had all the
Lynn found them too.
boot camps. And
I know how.
Yeah.
It's very rough and all this,
Yeah.
that and other.
Mm.
But because John revelled in it. And he was well, he liked it in the Air Force.
I would have thought back then that was a good job to get.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, the Air Force is always better than
But
the Army.
when
or-
you got a son, only 15, wants to leave, between 14 and 15, wants to leave out.
Yeah,
It hurts you, Johnny.
yeah,
And, well, of course, at the school up the road here,
yeah.
Tiny's Lane School, they said your dad would never get in the Air Force. Because he never bothered at school. All he was interested in, he was in geography. You know. And they got a habit of throwing prank back at him. I don't know whether you've found it. You might find it when they go to school. But if Daniel's very forward and picks up things quick, and you've got one what's ain't as quick, but they learn just the same. They throw the other one at them because they've gone on before them. And of course John don't like it. John resented that. And they shouldn't have done it, should they? And Frank was off school more he was than he was at school. Because he suffered with asthma and bronchitis the same as my mother did. He was always very poorly. But him and our Frank, they used to be like that. They still are. They're very closer than John and Frank are closer than Sarah and me. And John, or him with Frank. But they never fell out or anything. You know what I mean? But John and Frank, he'd do anything for Frank when he was bad. Wait on him hand and foot. John would. Funny, ain't it?
So do you think that the Air Force was good for John?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was good for him. Because I think if he hadn't gone in, there was a family over the road and they got 3 or 4 sons. And they wasn't bad people, but I don't like them mixing with him. And John was always stuck over there. And the house was dirty and all this, that and the other, you know. And of course, he used to go over there and he'd have his food over there. You know, they gave him some food. And I used to, you know, say, John, how can you go and live eating that house? You know, because my house, Bill, used to be very house proud. As you ate your food, and your plate was empty, it would be in the dish ready, in the sink ready to wash up. Oh, it's terrible. And but because he was drawn to him, see, and that.
He wanted some excitement. He wanted some excitement.
He wanted to travel.
Yeah.
And he did. And he was in Wales down Barry. In the what they called the boy entrance at that time, for 18 months. And when he passed out from the boy entrance to the men's, to the adults, they sent him up to Kinloss. That's where he met Sheila.
And you weren't happy about... You weren't happy for him to
I
get...
didn't mind it. Didn't bother about it.
Oh, I just thought he married very young. He married very young.
John was only 20, I think, when he married.
Yeah. And were you against that?
No.
No?
No, because he wrote me a letter. He wrote me a letter and he says, Ma, I've met a girl and we're getting engaged, and if you don't like it and you're out there, we're getting engaged, and if you don't allow it, I'm afraid I'm going to go against you and I shall never come home again. That was the letter I had.
Boy, he wasn't much of a diplomat, was he? He wasn't much of a diplomat.
What do you mean?
As in,
Daddy, look at how
he assumed right away you wouldn't like it.
I didn't take any notice, John.
Yeah.
And I wrote back and told him, I says, John, if you've met the girl as you think you're going to be happy with, get engaged. But what I would like you to do is, if you can, when you come home and leave again, bring her down here as we can meet her. Meet her with the family. And of course, when he come home and leave again, he did bring Sheila with him.
Why did he think you wouldn't like it?
Because I suppose he thought we'd be against him getting, you know, he'd be too young and that.
Well, he was 21 at that point.
Yeah, oh yes, of course. He was,
I mean, he'd been left
now he wasn't 21 then. He was only 20 when he got married. He was only 20 when he got married. I can always remember, we'd all made our minds up, we was going to the wedding, go up to Scotland to the wedding and that. And then we had a letter to say from him not to go out up to the wedding.
Why?
Did they elope?
No. Don't think Sheila's mum was averse to having an Englishman in the family.
I think English?
Oh.
I've never really found out, but I'm sure of it.
You never had a conversation with Sheila's mum?
Hmm?
Have you?
I met Sheila's mother and that years and years, you know, and I met her and that, and I could just imagine it. She was really Scotch,
Scotch.
really bloody
What
Scotch.
what does Scottish mean?
And by God, and was she a bloody old demon,
Bloody old demon.
like the sergeant major. You're laughing. He's laughing. It was like a sergeant bloody major. Oh, it was a nice woman, don't get me wrong.
Don't get you wrong, you called her a
Very-
demon.
Very, very strict.
Yeah.
Very strict. These used to come down here. They'd be at school on the Friday. So they broke up at school after the Friday holiday. They'd be down here on the Saturday, wouldn't you? for all the school holidays. They'd break up for the summer recess. Be down here, wouldn't they, Johnny? And they used to come.
Hey, Hub. Who turned the light off?
And it was coming, I don't know, they was coming.
Yeah, we never wasted any time getting down here.
Oh, no. I was never strict. Never let them do as they liked.
No, I remember we were.
What did I do with you, Johnny, when you felt?
Tell the truth.
I don't remember.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, Sally.
You're right. We can save it for this part because I know all of this.
And gone down to London to Weybridge, you know, Shepperton, to live with a daughter down there, and something had gone wrong. Whatever went wrong, we never knew. Well, I don't want to know, you know. And his mother and father lived at, come there, and they lived at Alice and Jim's, for a good while, I believe. Anyway, his mother was stuck seriously ill in hospital. And one night, Jim, Bill, Alice's husband, come over to ask Bill if he'd go to the hospital to see his mother. His mother wanted to see him before he died. And Bill says, no, I'm not going. And I don't say nothing. And Jim says, well, he says, I understand, you know. He says, I'll just tell you, Dad, you've refused to go. So after Jim had gone and that, and I says to Bill, your dad, your granddad, I turned around and I had a talk to him. And I says, you know, you should have gone and seen your mother. I says, whatever they'd done, she was still your mother. I says, and she was beaten by your dad. You know, she got to do as he said. I says, so I reckon you ought to go and see her. So I said, will you go and see her just to please me? I said, because I've got an idea you'll never forgive yourself if you don't go. He said, all right, I'll go tomorrow night. But at any rate, she died before he went. And then they come and asked him, Bill, to go to the funeral. And he says, no, I'm not going. And I said, I had a talk to him, and I said, I think you ought to go to the funeral. I says, you'll never forgive yourself if you don't, you know. So he went to his mother's funeral from Jim's, and then his father lived at Jim's for quite a bit. But over on my tail, on the day of the funeral, I wasn't asked to go to the funeral. I didn't think I was at work. And because Alice was there with the children and that, and Bill, of course Bill that day off to go to the funeral and that. And he said, oh, what's that empty this? It's now good. When I got home on Friday night, when I come in from work, who should be sitting in the house but his dad? And Bill says,
With Bill?
mm. And he said,
Was anyone else there?
no, only
No.
his dad. And of course the children were there, Frank and Tony and John and that, and Alice. And Bill says to me, I hope you don't mind. He said, my dad said he'd go to come over and see the children. And you? No, I go, oh, that's all right. I wouldn't, you know, it was his dad and
Yeah.
fair enough with me. Now, of course, he'd come and after then he kept coming over all the while, you know. He was here all the while. I didn't mind, I don't take any notice. And then he went back to live with his sister, his daughter, down London. About 6 weeks, like after his wife died. And then I don't know what happened there, but there must have been some more trouble. And he walked out of there with his suitcase and everything and went to his daughter's at Cheltenham. And she kept a pub in Cheltenham called the Little Brown Jug, you know. And when he got there, she said she couldn't put him up. So I come there on a Friday night with the dad, with his suitcase, and comes and we were just sitting having with tea, and then the door knocked, and who it was, it was Sue and the dad, Bill's dad. I says, oh. I says, Rose, she says, I don't know what's happened, that's how he used to talk. I don't know what's happened at Mary's, she says, but he's walked out, he says, and he's come to me, and I've got no room, so I brought him to Bill.
How old was he then? The
Well,
dad?
the dad, he was getting on towards 70. He was in his early 70s, no, but if he was 70, I don't know. I wouldn't remember.
Was his
So I
mind
says,
mind still good at that point? Was he aware of what was going on?
Oh, yes, he got all his faculties and everything.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing, he was a right, let me tell the story.
Okay.
He was a wicked old. So I says, can he stay here? So I says, well, Sue, I says, we've got no room. I says, we've got 3 children. I says, and Alice lives here. He says, Alice is home as well. So she says, how? So she says, well, will you have him, Bill, till you can find him somewhere to go? So Bill says, I'll have to, I suppose. So he was there, about 6 weeks. Of course, in them days, you wasn't allowed to overcrowd your house.
You have 2 small bedrooms.
I've got 3 bedrooms. I've got front bedroom and the two smaller ones, like, you know. And of course, he tried to talk Billy into letting Alice, make Alice go from here, and he live here. He says, it's my place to be, I'm your father. And that Bill turned round to him and he says, I'm sorry, Dad, this is Alice's home. She's lived here years. And this is her home. And there's no way am I putting her out. He says, we'll find somewhere for you to go. But he kept on and harping, you know. And the finish I told him. I says, this is Alice's home. I said, this is Alice's home. I said, she's not going anywhere, she's staying here. I says, Bill, find somewhere for you to go, she'll be all right. I says, and don't forget, when Bill needed you, you didn't want him. I says, so think about it. Anyway, we couldn't find him nowhere to go. And anyway, the authorities got a place in Stafford Infirmary. You know, he had to go in the infirmary, what it was. And when he got in there, like, you know, he let himself go completely. He was only in 3 weeks and he died. And the only one he'd have round his bed was Bill. The daughters come down to see me, so I don't want them near me. Neither one of them. Don't want them. You stop here. I don't want them. I don't want them. And me and Bill had the trouble of arranging the funeral and everything and doing everything.
Where's he buried?
In Aldridge Cemetery.
In Aldridge?
No, I had him cremated, that's right. He was cremated at Rycroft Cemetery.
Rycroft.
Mm.
And what did you do with the ashes?
I don't know. I can't remember. I'd got no interest, Johnny.
What about his mum? Where's she buried?
His mother died in, she's buried in Aldridge Church.
Oh, she is?
Mm.
What's the name?
Hardy.
Heidi?
Hardy.
Hardy.
Mm.
Uh-huh. What was
There's
her
a
first name?
stone on it. Suzanne.
Suzanne Hardy.
Mm.
But there's no gravestone there?
No, no. He put a vase on the grave and he used to go up. He thought the world was Bill's mother. And now heard about it, though, you know.
Who built it, or the dad?
The dad. But of course I hadn't got no interest, Johnny. I've got,
Yeah.
to me he was nobody. Is he only 1 minute to
1
go?
minute to go.
Where are your parents buried?
My dad was buried at Waterwood and my mother.
Okay.
Waterwood Cemetery.
And is there gravestones there?
Now, we wouldn't afford gravestones in those days.
Yeah.
But they're buried in Waterwood Cemetery. And I must confess, I never went to the cemetery. I never liked cemeteries. And I didn't like burials. I've never liked burials. But I believe in cremation.
And then what about the ashes?
Oh, they didn't have ashes. The body went into the ground,
Yeah.
6 feet down. No, I don't like it. It upset me. I would tell you, it upset me when I used to see a funeral.
What would
I
you
was going
call
to the
it,
cemetery.
Daddy? Cricket or baseball?
I can't bear to hear people. They still haven't buried here now, you know. Some of the Catholic people, they don't believe in cremations, you see. But I believe in cremation because I think the life's left